Welcome back to sunny Santa Monica. We are in the ECS studio. We are ready for some more Counter-Strike. We've had some great action on Vertigo in Europe, and now we move to the dizzying heights of North America, to the dizzying heights of MiBR versus Eunited. It's going to be a great game of Counter-Strike. It's going to be a great day of Counter-Strike. It is day 258 since we could draw on the map, worth noting as well. So we are joined by DDK. We are joined by the Bears. That's how you say it, right?
Yeah.
The Bears. There we go.
The Bears.
We need to do a video about you. We have a series. There's one about me, Henry, Dan. We need to do one for you
So
because
about me?
a lot of
What video is this?
Can I please just talk about interruption? I'm trying to introduce the show. So a lot of people don't know. A lot of people in North America do. Whenever we play with the Bears in North America, there's like, he's got like loads and loads of fans. But I feel like some people don't know. Some younger people don't know about your history. So we definitely need to get that out there.
I'm an old man.
Get that information on the intertube. So we'll have to set that up at some point. Let's look at the format. It is week number 4, so you're thinking, why? Well, the reason is because the format's different this week and next week to the previous 3 weeks. The previous 3 weeks, you turned up, you won the tournament, you went to LAN. These next 2 weeks, it's about accruing money. It's about getting those briefcases full of cash. You need to make money to make it to LAN. Essentially, the people who accrue the highest number of prize money will take those final spots. And we look at the teams who will be vying for that cash, for those briefcases, those brown envelopes this week. We'll see the bracket and see what the current standings are. MiBR took out Singularity, rather, 2-1 yesterday. NRG with a shock loss to Eunited. We'll see if MiBR can solve that kryptonite. And I haven't finished with the other side of the bracket. Can we go black, please? Black? Can we go black? Back.
I'll try.
Never mind the other part. All right, so Cloud9, Luminosity. Luminosity took that one 2-1. 2-0 for Team Liquid. So Luminosity and Team Liquid will be playing tomorrow. And indeed, today's schedule will be MiBR versus Eunited. That's going to be super interesting. These teams are playing for a spot at LAN, as we mentioned before. LAN this time is going to be in London, the SSE Arena. That's coming up next month. You can buy tickets. They're available, ecs.facer.com. If you're in Europe, if you're a late night watcher, then get some tickets. Get over to LAN. You've always got the crazy UK people. You've got the Astralis contingent and people from other parts of the globe as well. So get involved, ladies and gentlemen. It's always good. If it's your first event, it's a good one to go to. London's not a terrible place to go to either. Maybe you bring an umbrella, but we're geeks. We stay inside. You might not need an umbrella. It's all fine.
I don't like water.
Anything you want to say, Dan, at the beginning of this show? Now's your chance to talk. If you want to say something, here's your platform. Probably not a good idea.
You criticised my salesmanship, but you said London's not a bad place to go. I'm not doing much of a salesmanship job there.
That's a very English thing, though, isn't it?
Oh,
it's
wow.
Like, how are you?
Look at that retort.
It's like, how are you? I'm not bad. That's the standard answer.
And suddenly excuses are okay.
I think that was a good answer, to be honest with you. Like, if you ask anyone in London how are they, they're going to say, I'm not bad. That's what you say. It's a London thing.
Yeah, but it's not salesmanship, is it?
Yeah, but I sold the tickets. I sold the venue. London's a bonus. You know, I said there might be some overcast.
Part of the package. It's a bonus.
It was a long sell, yeah. I said, okay, the weather's dodgy, so it's like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't go. But then it's like, but we're geeks. We don't need the weather. We're going to be indoors. Like, yeah, you know, success doesn't matter. See, you gotta have the whole picture. You're just looking at a little part. Do you know what it is? It's like you've seen a piece of a jigsaw and you started critiquing the piece without seeing the full picture, Dan. That's the problem. You've had your platform's taken away. So, what else do we need to go through? The veto, let's see what these two teams are going to be playing on. What's the map going to be? It's a best of 3 series. Will it be 2 maps? Will it be 3? Will it be a 2-0? Will it be a 2-1 or a 1-2, depending on your perspective? MiBR and Eunited. Eunited, I always call them, well, I often call them a revolving door. People are in and out, but maybe the roster has stabilized. They beat NRG yesterday. We'll see if they can get another upset in the bag. Mirage will be the first port of call, then Nuke, then Inferno. So we're seeing an auto veto at the moment, at least for MiBR. I mean, they've got problems to solve elsewhere, so perhaps they'll be looking at vetoes, Vertigo rather, later on. Opinions on these maps, people?
So, we saw MiBR and Nuke yesterday. Very lackluster play by them.
Okay.
They kind of started off really slow. So
the T side was really bad.
It's really bad. It looked like they didn't want to play. I don't know. It just looked like they weren't there. So a lot of spacing issues, and eventually MiBR got rolled up. They started doing better, but Nuke may be iffy. Like, they could have lost a Singularity and may have lost the whole series if they didn't step it up towards the end of Nuke. So that's the asterisk for me for MiBR, that Nuke.
I wonder if Nuke was picked by Eunited based on the performance of MiBR yesterday, because it was weird. I don't know how better to describe it.
It wasn't weird, it was just atrocious. T-side. Terrible T-side.
I think part of it too, but Eunited I think likes to play Nuke too, so I think it goes hand in hand.
That certainly helps.
So it helps.
So there's a reasonable chance we could be looking at 3 maps. I think MiBR smashed on the CT side, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think they won most rounds.
Yeah, CT side was good.
So I suppose the United maybe need to win the game on their CT side. But time will tell. United are a team where, when they first qualified for ECS in their first season, they almost made it to LAN. In my opinion, the only reason they didn't is because they had to go to Europe. I think for some MDL LAN or whatever in Leicester, and that was on top of matches they were supposed to play for ECS. So they played them from there and got wrecked. I think that they would have made LAN if they were in North America. And it's the timeline of Eunited is so bizarre from then to here. Almost everyone that was on the team has been jettisoned. Ace has gone from playing CS and Eunited to playing Apex Legends.
Yeah.
So it's so odd. But I wonder if they'd made it to ECS, that's a pretty damn big LAN. If they had made it there, I think they could have done some damage. I'm not saying they would have won the thing, but I think they could have surprised some people. They could have put themselves on a map, and then who knows how they would have looked versus how they look now. We need to go into predictions, guys. We need to see who is going to be doing what. Sliggy's going last this time. I've done my little equal opportunity thing, so he's back at the back of the queue. Eric, what do you think?
I'll do MiBR. I think they are the better overall team, deeper map pool again. But the series, I have to go with MiBR because they're just a way more experienced team, as you said, with Eunited. Revolving door, players are in and out constantly with this team, and I just hope they can find a consistent basis.
Dan.
I'm going to go Eunited. I think that both the T side of Nuke for MiBR was awful, and I feel like Mirage was also. I expected MiBR to kind of crush Singularity. It was a really close game. That said, I feel like if NRG were playing today, they would smash MiBR. So that really confuses me. That weird domestic matchup type thing where United defeat NRG, as you were saying. So that's kind of weird. It's put me in a weird place, but I have to pick them because I think that MiBR look too weak right now, which is weird.
I'm going to pick MiBR because I think it is a rough patch, but I like a rough spot in general for both teams. But MiBR is supposed to be the better team. I think that we won't necessarily see a mirror performance from them today that we saw yesterday, and I just expect more from them. I think the maps should be okay for them. Sliggy, what do you think?
MiBR 2-0.
Okay, straight up and down from Sliggy. Those are our predictions brought to you by Pinnacle. And we've got more predictions to come. We've got the Brazilian contingent. We've got the fan predictions, which is Brazil and beyond. They have huge support. MiBR, 74% on this occasion. 26%. That's pretty solid for United. I think with all the players coming in and out, it's hard to have like that fan base who's just going to vote for you no matter what. But that's pretty solid. So you're not alone there, Dan, with your predictions. And those are big numbers to, if you think United are going to take a W here. MiBR look like a firm favourite as far as Pinnacle are concerned.
Yeah, it's a really weird one. Definitely the underdogs, United by no stretch, but I feel like MiBR they're volatile right now. So, and these maps, I think, could work for them. We're into it.
Timing of all that was impeccable.
What's that?
The transition was beautiful. It was perfect timing. I'm happy.
Yeah, we have an A play coming in from United. They'll smoke jungle and stairs. Perhaps they'll go for the plant, remove players from towards CT, take CT. But they've got to get to CT first. And there will be no CT for them, as it will be the CTs to defend this A bomb site pretty handedly. As Phelps is looking to hold it. He's just standing there by himself. What an absolute beast. How is he still just standing in this position? He's got 4 kills just standing there in the open.
Time.
I would have got a jumping headshot across the map. Like, that's what happened to me if I'm at ticket the entire time. It's like, I don't know how you could do that, but he did it.
Their whole plan was to take the bomb site and just rush CT spawn, and they couldn't get. Phelps was like body blocking them. I don't understand.
So if you look at the roster of Eunited, the only person I think who's still there is Moose. Everyone else is gone. Imagine that, the dizzying heights of almost qualifying.
I think Cooper, I don't know, he's like kind of, I think he played with them last fall or December.
No, the team with Ace, he replaced Ace, didn't he?
It was at the time. He did replace either Relics or Ace, because it was that time where they kept switching in players. Like
yeah, but I'm talking before all of that.
Oh, before all
that.
Okay.
OG United, as far as I'm concerned, is only Moose now. He's like the Chris J, as everyone else is gone.
Imagine being the guy that updates their Wikipedia team page. It must be like a full-time job.
Zing! I like it, Dan.
It's so disappointing. We were really, like, up-and-coming teams who have really good team play. They might not be, like, the best, you know, the greatest, like, at that point in time, but you can see the potential for growth and the discipline. And I think for Dan and I, that's so stimulating, and you kind of root for those teams because they're doing everything right in that respect. So to see them torn apart like this, just sucks, man. It sucks. We need that mental stimulation, not getting it. coldzera popping back into the ladder position, and MiBR having taken the pistol thanks to Fur being invincible in CT with his USP. I like that we saw CT left open, but there was essentially a crossfire in the site. Phelps was very conservative with his peaks. And
can't you run boost into the window from that boost they had?
Probably. I've never done it.
I've never seen anyone doing it, but I feel like that'd be pretty sick.
Maybe.
Well, United have put themselves in good positions now. Lovely shot from Moose. He's got another guy in CT to deal with. That's Phelps. Takes one in a dome. Overkill. He was in the red already.
Damn.
And Fallen is left on T-ramp with not much to do. 30 seconds. He just about not stopped the bomb from going down, but 2 quick headshots. And maybe there's a chance. Food has no armor in this round. So this is doable. I think you may have heard one player going towards a short position, going for the taps. Not quite the full spray, but that's Food with no armor. So where is the second guy? He needs to know where the trade fragger is. Food has the spot at the same time. Fallen has a kit, so he has some time to do this. Continuing to invite, running out of bullets though. Picking up the Krieg. That might be the one. It won't be the one. Moose's long flank will allow Eunited to take the second round.
What an awesome force buy. They got the bomb plant in the first round, which allowed them to go for that force buy, and I love that they had an awesome round for it. I love the fact they went for a mid take because you do have some superiority in mid with the rifles that you force into here. We see the AKs, the Kriegs, and so on, the Scout, and where you won't have all the utility, you will get some fights there, and you can use that firepower to, if you get the fights, get kills as well as map control. So it's that's a bit dirty. So it's a perfect way to handle that situation. So I really like that round from United. MiBR, you can see them with the force back, and they're trying to do what they can. Fallen with a great start. Food has to gain some map control here, and he's actually doing a pretty good job. He's already towards window. Ooh, though that is a problem though. coldzera will get backstabbed by Marquis, so I like how active United are being right now, but they are in trouble.
Indeed they are. Flames are a problem if you don't have a fire retardant suit, and even if you do, probably still an issue. MiBR have 2 players remaining. Taco with a, well, just Taco now. He's got a HE grenade, he's got a Desert Eagle, and he is miles away. They know he's a B player. You would expect some kind of rotation by now, but he is not going to be winning this round. I like his flip knife.
I like how active United, I mean, it's only 2 rounds in, but I like how active they have been. They move quite quickly, and they react quite quickly. Some teams, when something goes wrong, they slow down, which can be okay, but a few teams slow down because they have a plan. It's usually because they're like, oh god, what do we do now? But we're seeing United just sort of take it in their stride. So that's quite cool to see.
I like seeing the confidence from Eunited. You know, you're always play a team like MiBR, such a prestigious players and such an awesome team. You kind of a little more timid in your play, but Eunited, they're just swinging. They're pretty much peeking with no fears.
He lined it up in advance, but still. That's pretty sick. Fallen had a fantastic day of Counter-Strike yesterday.
Yeah.
Very stimulating for the viewers. And here he is again today. Not quite the start they wanted. HE disposed of to pick up a second flashbang, presumably. Normally it's a flash you dispose of to pick one of each grenade, aside from a decoy. Fur taken out, cut to pieces as they move into the B bomb site. Lovely flying headshot from Vanity. So, I'm glad I'm getting to see some United now because, again, I've been whining for the longest time about the lack of stability, about the old, very old team at this point. You know, CS moves very quickly, but if this is to be a stable roster now, then perhaps we can find a new identity for United. Perhaps they find one themselves. I look forward to this journey. I think Mirage is a good map to kind of see, especially on the T side. Well, both sides, I think. Just the nature of the map, I think it lends itself to learning about a team and maybe the personality of some players. Does everything fit? Are all the fingers in the glove? Phelps has got himself an AK-47. That's not bad. Trying to hold on to it.
I gotta say, one thing that's really cool as well if you're Eunited and you're playing against teams like MiBR, it's one of those things where, as mentioned, this is a group of players that you're going to look up to because of their experience. And maybe, you know, you were like 2-3 years ago when you were watching them like contending, you know, for major titles and winning them and big moments. You know, you maybe weren't even on the professional scene yet, but you were watching it.
Yeah.
So now you get to play against those players that inspired you, and it's a reason to go like. To have even more focus than you'd ever normally have, because it's like it's such a measuring stick for you personally. Oh, talking about right eye peaks.
Oh, I was talking about that in the break.
Yeah,
I got so heated.
We got deep into the right eye peak discussion.
It should not exist, but it does.
It's actually kind of outrageous how much impact it has, and I never really thought about it too much.
Yeah.
We'll have to explain the string and eco round for people at home.
I was going to say, we'll go properly into right eye peak and the eco. It's it will change how you look at Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
That's the funniest thing you've said this season.
Oh, that's funny, yo. I'm such a jokester. Well, look at this. Fallen's holding connector, and there's nothing really just to...
Is that even a word?
What's jokester, yeah?
Okay.
You always ask me this, and I'm always right.
I feel like you're trying to bait me into a challenge. Challenge accepted, Dan. I think that's nonsense. We will Google this in a second. Fallen's in that connector position. He knows all the angles. Cooper gets his elbow taken away. Swinging now with one arm. 3 players remain for Eunited. What is the response? 38 seconds. They're not through any of these significant choke points. Food is trying to make something happen in the B bomb site. Even if he does the bomb, okay, it's made its way up the short position. Food's looking for something by the bench. Spots one, going for some bursting, some spraying. But there will be almost no damage. 8 damage in total from Eunited in that round.
That was a great round by MiBR, and Fur just waiting patiently in the window, trying to get that kill, and Fallen getting the 2 op spots right in a row. So it's gonna be difficult if Eunited, if we see Op or Fallen, if he's on fire, Eunited might want to adjust their T side a little bit, not go so default heavy, and maybe work more choke points like 4-1s. Just hope that Fallen can't just wide peek everything and kill you over and over and over again.
It's weird, a smoke in this position. It will change. The extremity of a smoke will move around a little. Sometimes it will take vision away. More often than not, it will spread a little, in a very fine fashion. So you can see for a second and then you can't. Nobody peeking too much towards the window, looking towards short. The scope of the Krieg should be heard by Fallen, so he can tell his teammate they're probably peeking short. I think he's done that at first, looking for it. They've fallen off though, as has Fur. Ooh.
That's so close.
Haircuts. You can wallbang that wall as well. If somebody's standing on this table support, you can wallbang them from top mid.
You know Fallen's gonna do it. Come on.
The other table support, not that one.
Spam.
Fur is in... I think he's... Oh my god, how is he not getting punished at all? No one's looking towards connector there. Oh, no way!
God.
He has just taken everything away. I don't know how he's got that much value from this.
That's
no
so
one
bizarre.
looking.
Well, when they came off the boost, when United came off the boost looking towards short, Fur was in connector and he came off the angle looking up. He kind of made a landing impact noise. So you know, if you're paying attention, you know, unless everyone's talking and you didn't hear it, you know there's a guy in there who was on an elevated position and dropped off. So you know how the smoke works. You can't have 2 of your guys losing to that. Fur deleting everybody.
It's a pretty big mistake, just because you know that even if you hear Fur there or not, when that smoke is in that position, CTs will be trying to get value from it. It could be a flash that sails in from window or connector or even short, and then that player can try to make a play. So you always have to be cautious of that one. So that sucks for United, and now this is for Eco. So maybe you can go into the right IP quickly. This looks like it'll be cleaned up very swiftly. So the whole point of the right IP is that the camera that gives you vision when you're running around the game in your avatar is not centered in the model. It's slightly to the right of the model. So if you're peeking where your model is going to be, you know, on an angle when you're facing your right side first, then if the other player is on the left side, he's just not going to see your model first because your camera is further on the right side of your model, and because his is on the opposite in that sense, there's going to be a big disparity. If he's on the left eye peak and you're on the right eye peak, you'll have a big advantage in seeing him first.
So peek right.
There's a lot. If you Google right eye peak on YouTube in CS:GO, you'll see a lot of examples of this.
It's frustrating.
And it's something to be aware of because sometimes you'll get like Ferrari peaked, and it won't actually be like, it'll look actually unimpressive from their angle, but to you it'll look like you couldn't even see them.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So
it's good to know these things. Little mechanics.
Yeah, it changes how you will want to think about angles, and it will explain the reason why certain professionals will favor certain types of peaks and how they'll try to contest for certain spots to peak from.
Ooh. How about that for an answer?
It's a nice anti-strat right there, knowing that MiBR probably likes a pop flash in the halls.
Yeah. It's been a slow start for Eunited, almost like they're playing a classic versus pro. You never know when they're going to push, and indeed Fallen is feeling the freedom, although his freedom will be cut short with man lost towards the big bomb site. He'll make a rotation over there, looking for something. You can see him, he's just in laser, he's in predator mode. He's got the 3 dots and the dreadlocks. The bomb is moving through connector, and if he's about to peak, this could be a catastrophe, but he's not going too far just yet. You don't know if somebody's chair, there's chair cleared out. There's somebody looking through. Maybe the bomb's on the radar, maybe not, but the angles are just superior for MiBR. And once again, Eunited are on the meat hooks. They've got 20 seconds to go and retrieve the bomb and try to plant it. They don't have... Okay, there's a smoke around connector. We've got a rotation towards T-spawn. Moose is now on a 1 versus 3, and now it's a none versus 3 because they all get eliminated. Seems like some of the angles being taken or not considered by Eunited are causing them some problems in these rounds.
So I like what Eunited is actually doing in middle. The problem is that they may be going a little too slow. And by too slow is, I liked how they peeked mid without throwing any nades, so they gave away 0 information. But once they get in connector, at that point, okay, maybe it's safer just to toss some nades at least so you know, don't get shot with an AWP by Pollen and Catwalk and stuff like that. So maybe once they get to a certain point, kind of speed up or throw some nades. Check your angles.
So good to have a Molotov after a smoke execute to deploy it, because it just keeps them just completely trapped in a smoke point. Choke point, hello. They've telegraphed their intentions. The Molotov just keeps them there. And then it's absolutely brutal, especially in a round like this when they've only got pistols and so on. The smoke starts to fade. Yeah, they got 1 frag. They had no chance of planting the bomb. Holding on to your Molotov is so fruitful when you see the smoke start to come in. You can drop on Tetris as well if you're in the jungle position, for example. There's a more you can throw for Tetris, which means they have no cover if they stand at that choke point. They're just exposed to people defending the site.
Yeah, big problem for United is not having the plan of how to finish the rounds once you gain some map control. And one way around that is going for A rushes, and this may work out because MiBR might be slightly out of position here, but they do need to be able to smoke off jungle and so on, because that's been a really big problem, jungling and connector. So much presence there from MiBR and all the orbs as well. Very distracting. Okay, so there's the smokes. Okay, that's an enormous gap here on jungle.
Oh my goodness.
I've never seen
what?
Such a huge gap. We can't even see the smoke from Fallen's perspective there. You see, look at that gap. Oh my god.
That's really weird. That's not even like a molly's been in that, because it's just hit the bench and got bounced underneath it, I'm guessing. That's really off-key. Cooper taken down towards sandwich. Lovely jump peek from Taco, spots a play towards Tetris, and there goes the grenade. That's absolutely perfect. Give that man a gold star on his badge. Up close from coldzera in the face. Now Vanity with 14 HP tries to do something. 1 versus 2. The grenade from Taco sailed in from CT, but now Taco's in jungle. Random pot shot from Vanity. He's got 33 seconds. He could technically try and rotate towards the B bomb site. So look at this change of position. Vanity, again, Taco last seen in CT moves to jungle. coldzera last seen in connector is now on T ramp. where do you go? Even after you plant the bomb, where on earth do you go for your Vanity? All the information you had is now old, but he seems to read this. He seems to have that awareness. No one picked him from CT. Focuses on T-Ramp. Coldzera is about to creep to his doom, surely. The crab walk is absolutely punished. Taco's made no sound, but he seems to have an idea of Vanity. Moving towards CT. Really smart stuff. Not bad bunny hopping. Taco has a smoke and a flash. He could smoke off the entire choke point. What does he do with it? He's got it in his hand. He's got to be very careful. Vanity with the forward angle. Great play from him. Fantastic awareness.
Yeah, that read was ridiculous.
That was really
Super
good.
smart. That's really cool. That's such a great round. And it started off with Fallen getting 3 shots, 2 free kills, a 3v5 into like a 3 versus 4 or 2. And great clutch from Vanity. Eunited had to work really hard for that one. Working against themselves in some aspects as well. But another round on the boards, and that's a great one to win. However, the money for them is broken. Ooh, good pick from Fallen. The fast pace up catwalk really catches MiBR completely off guard. And Food will leap into the window as such for 135, and they're in jungle. That's not bad.
No one broke the crawl space either, which is a rough rotation for MiBR, but now with 2 players lost, how much do they invest into this? 2 players still in the B bomb site. Can't imagine the team are going to go for this. Would be somewhat suicidal. Cold will hold an angle.
What a pace.
Yeah, it was a good change of pace by United to rush towards middle. They're setting up pretty much condition MiBR that they're going slow. Like the 2 strats they have been doing, mid slow, A take. And so that round they decided to go instead of slow mid, just rush it up. And Fawn was in a really awkward spot against that rush.
Did they have a window smoke, or did they?
I don't remember. I'm assuming so.
They must have. Right?
They've been throwing window smoke almost every round.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that it's just like on default to smoke that window.
So it's actually a good point as to why it's important to smoke window every round, because at the early timings you're going to, you might convince an AWP if he wants to be more active that he should go to connector, and then if he does go to connector and you have a fast catwalk timing, he's completely exposed to all those players. But if you don't smoke the mid window, there might be a spot where he's standing there and maybe he won't be a potential pick so quickly, and the round will slow down. Fallen smoking behind himself and going to do what he can here.
Wonder what the intention was with the smoke. Maybe they're supposed to go somewhere else. Vanity with a very fast play towards the bomb site, but they choose not to overcommit. You can see there was some intention, but they decided to cancel it. Maybe because Vanity's got 4 HP. So now what? They don't have any inroads towards A. Just been spotting from the B side of T-spawn, if you will. And it seems that they will suggest, I mean, going quiet and not committing will spread the CTs out across both sites once again. There's so much time on the clock. Fur just clearing the van position. Coldzera trying to smoke off. This smoke is a very tidy one, which goes right side the entrance hallway, but never mind that, because here comes the push. Vanity with that 4 HP gets taken down early. So far, so good for MiBR. 4 unanswered frags. And Cooper can only do so much. 1 kill for him, but so many angles to be held. Oh, there's the dome of Coldzera taking the dome of Cooper. Fantastic hold by MiBR.
So one thing I want to say there about that position, I like that when how they fell back after getting the pick on B. But one thing you have to bear in mind is that, and the point that you made, James, actually, is that when that happens and the CTs lose somebody, they get very afraid of getting hit on a bomb site, and so they give up middle. And so what happens is, by you all going through the B apartments, it's kind of like just going into Banana, when 2 people are stacked on the bomb site. It's still kind of difficult because they still have way better positions, because your choke point, you're in such a tight choke point. So I think most of the time you actually want to go back into mid, set up a split if you actually want to go for the B bomb site after a delay. But fast round again from United. It's been working for them. Coldzera in this, he's been in the spot a couple times. And this time it's going to work out much better for MiBR. United with the bomb on the ground now in the middle of nowhere in the A site. He's trying to just lurk around Palace, but with Coldzera and Tetris, it's a really difficult spot. Coldzera with a superior angle, and now down to Vanity in the clutch again. But this time he doesn't have the bomb, but he does have some time. But what does he do? Taco and CT. Coldzera and Tetris. It's quite a good crossfire on the bomb. This is going to be so difficult for Vanity.
Reload gives the information that the AK is out.
Looks like he has a fast sense.
He threw his pistol away, maybe to suggest he's picked up an AWP again. Nothing else would really make sense, apart from a weapon being picked up, because he's not going to throw the bomb away. Lots of movement from Tycho. Rough for Vanity, but he makes it happen. Looking for the trade fragger. I think Cold0 fired a few bullets. He's holding an angle. He is beyond the smoke. Vanity might be aware of it, but he can't quite hit the mark. Great effort, but Cold0 will hold the round down for MiBR. 2 in a row now for the Brazilians.
He's a mere 17 for 6. That was a great effort from Vanity. I thought that maybe he gets that.
Oh, we like it. Yeah, MiBR's having pretty good crossfires. Cold0 just pretty much being really annoying on his angles. It's a lot of off angles, a lot of letting his teammates be, I guess, the object or the, hey, look at me, a little distraction while Cold0 just pretty much baits his way to victory. Which is good, guys. You have to bait properly in this game, so don't hate on his baiting.
Molly behind the smoke, and Fallen is there just in time to take out Vanity. But the A bomb site is vulnerable. Fallen with, I love this angle, so nice. But he could be shot from up top. But do you want to risk peeking Fallen? I certainly don't. 3 versus 4 in favor of MiBR. The bomb is planted default. There are no grenades remaining for Eunited. Nothing to take position. Marky better be quick on that trigger finger.
Well, it's not done enough damage. He's trying to do what he can. Finds the headshot into Fallen. So it's only players to go in the utility. Makes life awkward. Important shot for Cooper, but the flank coming in makes it impossible. Another round for MiBR.
Good retake. MiBR pretty on point, staying alive long enough that they can retake together. No individual peeking really, just togetherness. It's so nice. I like to see it. It's a different MiBR from a little bit than yesterday.
I was going to say the same thing, yeah.
They really want to win this time.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to qualify, they need to really get to the finals at least. I think, you know, there's so many teams that have been making appearances and racking up the cash. Full rifle setup, Mark A on a creek, drop into underpass from no other than Fur, of course.
Ooh.
Oh my god. How is he not blind?
Went behind him.
No, it hit him in the face and bounced in front of him, didn't it?
I think it went behind him afterwards.
Hmm.
Well, now we are 4 versus 4.
First position from Vanity. Not expecting that Cold0. And Fallen's now in connector, and he could get pinched. He's going to be so careful. I know he's there. They're trying to find him. This is such a difficult spot, because if Fallen gets a kill from here and doesn't get traded, then significant advantage now for MiBR, because the 3 versus 2 allows a lot more safe options for MiBR. Food will be in on the B bomb site, but they don't really have utility. Oh, Fallen's in position. Food gets a drop on him. Now he's got to get one more if he possibly can. The bomb's lost in the B apartments, and there's no time. Taco will finish him off for the 10-5 first half.
Certainly a good start for MiBR on their CT side of Mirage. United with 5 rounds on the T side. Will need the pistol. Find out if they can get it after the break.
Bustin' if you're coming at me though. Man, I take aim, no free throw. No man, I'm bustin' if you're coming at me though. Man, put up 8 to get a reload. Bust doors, no need for a key though. Man, I take aim, but this ain't a free throw. No man, I'm bustin' if you're coming at me though. Bustin' if you're coming at me though. Bustin' if you're coming at me though. Man, I take aim, no free throw. No man, I'm bustin' if you're coming at me though. Bustin' if you're coming, no put it out. Get a pun, but I mean no tricking out. Meaning if it's on, then it's on. Stay looking out. On-site gas, so it's fire, no cooking out. Run, you say no bolting. Book for the wall, you're coping. You're a pump, only right, you're soaking. Not off the loud, brother ain't smoking. Don't know what you're chat for. Why you front, have you running for the back door? Man took offense, why you thinking that's a tap for? Man, I leave more holes in you than a crack hole, too raw. That's how the beef come. Know it well, and that's how the beef done. There's no rules, though, that's how the street run. Man, I get light, see sun, let the week done. Try no man, don't play that, don't play that. Been like that since way back, Man, roll round and spray that, Man, miss you, let's spray that, Try no man, don't play that, Been like that since way back, Man, roll round and spray that, Man, miss you, let's spray that, Yo, man, pull up, ain't talking a reload. Bust doors, no need for a key though. Man, I take aim, but this ain't a free throw. No, man, I'm busting if you're coming at me though. Busting if you're coming at me though. Busting if you're coming at me though. Man, I take aim, no free throw. No, man, I'm busting if you're coming at me though. Man, pull up, ain't talking a reload. Bust doors, no need for a key though. Man, I take aim, but this ain't a free throw. No, man, I'm busting if you're coming at me though. Busting if you're coming at me though. Busting if you're coming at me though. Man, I take aim, no free throw. No, man, I'm busting if you're coming at me though.
Five rounds for Eunited as they move to the CT side. Pistol will be important, always is, even with the differences in the economy. Looks like we've got some executes towards the B bomb site with that smoke grenade from Fallen flying into the middle of the site to deny information. Vanity's timing. Oh no, he's been blind. He's gone a little bit to the left, and that will deny him. Drops a smoke of his own, which will help the rotation for his teammates through the door, through the market. Pop shots, not quite hitting the mark there. Not going for a default shot though, as the default plant is made. 5 versus 5 retake, still streaming in towards the market. Need to get through the choke point before the smoke goes. There's still time. 2 players on the site now, make it 3. And the frags begin. Headshots for both sides. The variants now will come in. People all over the place. How do you even communicate with this kind of carnage? 4 versus 3 in favor of Eunited. They've got a defuse kit on Cooper, and the headshots keep coming in. I hear the ding of an empty magazine. Reloads required. 2 versus 2. USPs versus Glocks. Fallen with the high ground, trying to hide. Facing, trying to be a pain. He hasn't got an angle to stop the defuse, so if the aim is good enough, it's not. Moose misses the shot.
Oh my goodness.
And that will be it around for MiBR. 11-5. 1 alive.
How many times have you seen this from Fallen?
I was going to say, he's so patient. You can see him, like, even though he has, like, so little time, he's, like, just trying to make sure it's perfect. The shot's perfect.
So good. And almost a really good retake by Eunited. MiBR got the plant down. There's smokes everywhere, and they're in post-plant positions. And Moose comes in with a whole bunch of kills and a strew of luckiness. But unfortunately for them, they did not get the round. Fallen's just too good. Too good. Just quiet right now. MiBR is just kind of feeling it out, going for a default.
That palace area always reminds me, the cushions and things, it just reminds me of when I was in Kuwait. There's a restaurant in Kuwait called Baked Dixon, which ironically was opened by some UK people. But you can eat dinner at like 1 o'clock in the morning if you want to. So we had dinner at like 11 p.m. And then there was a place, like a tea room, where people used to smoke, but it was banned. But the dude smoked anyway, because he's like, I can do what I want. But anyway, it reminded me of that. So, long story short,
nice.
That was a fun time.
Some hookah.
Pop flash from Food and a frag from Moose. The bomb's left on the high ground. Everyone else is on the low. That's a huge problem for MiBR. But maybe frags will be enough. Maybe elimination will be the final station for Eunited. Man advantage for them for the time being. Vanity in the red, and Cold Zero's moving in with the Mac 10. Could be double. There's 1. There's 2. Will it be 3? Cooper falling back with the scout. He is in a 1 versus 2 situation. There's a flick. Does some damage. Nothing too permanent though. Both these players have Kevlar. Cooper's naked like Tony Stark. Default plant for Taco. What do you do now, Cooper? He does not have position. He spots one towards the van. Taco seems to want to have a quick look-see. Does he have the headshot, Cooper? He creeps. He pops through. Scopes in, but no shots. 12-5 for MiBR.
Again, Eunited with the read and the setup and literally almost having 5 people there as MiBR is executing. But again, MiBR is coming out on top. Their spacing and exchanging is really on point, and it's very difficult for Eunited to find any room in these rounds, even though they're playing it right. Makes you think, like, what can you do in this situation? You're making right reads, you're calling some good strats, but you're getting annihilated still, round after round by MiBR.
Oh, I don't think Fallen spotted Food there. Is that a resolution issue? I think the resolution-wise, the height is the same. So that's a really weird situation. Maybe he was looking elsewhere. I think I learned that in 3 Clicks Philip video about stuff recently. Anyway, it is a clearance. MiBR bleaching the floors. They're spotless. They smell kind of funny, but they look pretty damn good.
13-5, and things looking pretty smooth here for MiBR so far as they clean up the pistol and following rounds, but the buy comes in. Will we see something ridiculous, like a B rush or something untoward? Given the fact that there's no SMGs, it's probably unlikely, but sometimes, you know, fast contact plays can really throw off a team that wants to get stuck in, wants to get aggressive. We'll see if that will be the case for United, or if they have 3 people going through CT towards, well, through ticket towards the default on a bomb site. So they're not putting any presence towards middle. So they really want to stay safe against any contact plays on the bomb sites. And the cost is as I say, middle, but maybe aren't super active or with a super fast pace here. So is that connector? What is?
I think that's either connector or jungle. There we go.
Ah, cool. That's pretty gangster.
Jungle.
If you're Swedish or Spanish.
Or a pleb.
Eunited, though, as you said, they gave up middle, but it gives MiBR a lot of room to take over middle and map control. There's 4 of the players of MiBR in middle. No Eunited to be seen anywhere to peek. They're playing scared.
So that molly might be a tell as well, because, you know, if you're taking connector, you know, you want to make sure that you don't get peeked from someone on catwalk. And that might be it's interesting because considering that United have pit control, this might not be the worst thing in the world for them. We'll see how this goes. Fallen will make his way in first. Takes down Marky pretty easily. Cuba still white pit though. And Vanity's dead as well. Everyone's dead.
Okay.
26 for 11. He is unstoppable.
And he entry killed with the AWP. He ran first into the A-bomb side with an ult and got 3 kills.
If he was on LAN this week,
I'd high-five him.
I think he would just be deleting people. He's one of those flow of consciousnesses. It's like when those old school poker players say they're playing a rush, which scientifically makes no sense, but they're just going for it. They're like, I want to win every hand. I'm just doing it. He's just in that, he's in a flow state. He is like water. Get the Bruce Lee quotes out.
Form like water.
Oh man, Cold Zero. There's a really rare inspect animation with that knife where you balance it. And he had it, but he was
sees it every
fiddling
day.
about so much. He countered it immediately. It's so sick. I always let that one run through. It's glorious. That's beautiful.
Shots.
He is looking sharp as a butcher's pencil.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Machine always calls me out when I say that one. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, I mean,
it does.
If you think about it.
Butchers have enormous cleavers.
Yeah, they've got loads of
sharp
sharpening tools and stuff.
And the way that you used to sharpen pencils was with the knife.
Oh.
So.
Yeah.
Was it like in the 1800s?
Well, I mean, you never sharpened a pencil with a knife before. I've done it.
No, I haven't. Sorry.
Yeah. Well.
We have
I'm a big fan of pencils, actually.
We have a pencil sharpener, which has been invented probably in the 30s, 20s.
I bought a mechanical pencil. I have no use for it. I never use a pencil, but I just appreciate it. Yeah. You know, I have an emotional connection to it.
I write better with a pencil. They're easy to write with for me.
My handwriting is dog doo-doo.
Is it because you have, like, you can erase it? So you have...
No, it's just for some reason, whatever it is, like the graphite, it's easier to control. On the...
You need a nice, thin Schiefer pen. None of that Mont Blanc fat pen nonsense. the Mont Blanc pen's almost like cannons. So you have to hold it with your entire hand. 40 seconds remained for MiBR, and it's 5 versus 5. Eunited wait their passive, maybe forced to be so with 2 MP9s in tow and 2 French guns along with the UMP. It's just not an ideal situation, but he's really making it work, Vanity, or he's trying to. Some delay, some information for his team, but the rotation will be long for the players on A. There's a flank from Fur. 24 seconds left. They still got the brazen attitude to have a late flank, but they're still stuck. They need to clear the site. 18 seconds. Moose is doing what he can. He's maiming them, he's hurting them. Here comes Cooper charging through, and that might just be the round because Fur is very far away. Oh no, 10 seconds, and through the window, threads the needle through the keyhole. Who lives in a house like this?
That's so unlucky, he had no idea.
This has to be so frustrating for Eunited. Like, they're just getting outshot. Like, how can you say, oh, they're outplaying us by strats? They're not. Actually, Eunited's making correct plays, correct moves every time almost against MiBR, but MiBR is just, their aim's too good right now. Sometimes the best strat is the headshot.
It's pretty telegraphed when you throw that smoke as to kind of what your intentions are. And Fur knows it. He's just sitting in the smoke. Wants to punish. Ah, Cooper. He makes a good read there. 2 men in Palace for Eunited. They're really playing this in a funky way.
It's a big ding-dong with the FAMAS from Phelps earlier on. 2 Kriegs and an AWP remain. Taco bouncing. I'm going to bounce out of Palace. Maybe heard by Vanity with the auto shotgun. Dan, the advocate for shotguns on Vertigo.
Auto shoots gun. Oh!
Big headshots from both sides. 2 players remain from MiBR as they look to take Mirage over Eunited, who are fighting for survival in the first map of this best of 3 series.
It's all about Taco there moving through the A site and what he can find. Kozir is holding his position at the moment. And there's a big flank coming from Vanity, but again, shotgun in hands at the moment. I don't know if you can find a weapon anywhere. Probably not. Oh, the baits, the running. It's all too easy for Mr. Coldzera and Taco. No continuation spray there to follow it up. And the shotgun is the one to get it done in the end. United stay alive for a moment longer, but there's still cash in the bag for MiBR to go for a buy.
Haven't seen an op on Cooper too much this entire game, and maybe could attribute that to so many force buys by Eunited. We would like to see more op on Cooper. I think it's his gun. His biggest impact is him on the AWP. Maybe if United does not come back next map, maybe a more conservative approach to the economy.
Opening frag from Fur. Too many man top mid for Cooper to do anything about it. Moose struggling to escape. A team kill from Phelps onto Taco, but that's probably going to amount to nothing. 4 versus 2 at game point for MiBR. Marky hears the sound cues, and again, it's a double peek if he dares enter. He does. There's one. A 180 from Phelps, and it will be Food alone. He can't see the bomb inside connector. He's just hiding. That's all he can do. He can't impose his will. Moose has 21 frags in this game, and there's 6 rounds the United have won. That's pretty crazy stuff. That's only the 7th for Food, and he's not far from the average of the other 3 players if you exclude Moose as the 4th. 1 versus 2, Fur creeping, but will Food have the right angle or the right timing? He just about will. Coldzera throws a grenade. He has the information now, Food. They both do. Oh, that Molotov. It's going to delay him. It's going to thwart him. What does he choose to do?
He comes in from jungle, it's cold. It's touched. Nice follow-up though with the HE. Now Food. It's in so much trouble. The peak comes in from cold. It's going to finish it off 16-6. MiBR looking very comfortable here against Eunited, out shooting them, and that's largely been the problem here, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. Just a lot of outshots, and I mean, right here is a pretty good example. Phelps is just sitting in CT spawn against 4 players pretty much, and they can't kill him. They can't get the job done, and he gets the 4 kills, and they get the pistol. And it seems like the story of almost every other round, MiBR is just out shooting Eunited so much. It's like, what strats can you do at this point? What can you do if you can't hit your shots?
There's not so much you can do, especially on an open map such as Mirage. Hard for Eunited to outmaneuver MiBR on this occasion, and the statistics were so weird for Eunited. Very unusual in a game where you've only won 6 rounds. Moose 21 frags, really doing best he could, but I don't know how many of them might have been saving or something. Fallen having an absolute field day. He's been rallying the troops today all over social media, on Twitter, on Instagram. He's trying to call the army of Brazil to support MiBR in their push today. He makes it to 29 frags, just shy of the 30 bomb. But look at the stats here for Eunited. Moose on 21, Vanity Cooper on 11, Food and Marky on 8. That's very unusual, but no one can call that's just kind of weird. So that is Mirage in the bag for MiBR. I thought they would have a good showing again. They certainly did. Inferno is the second map in its best of 3 series. Mirage was the pick of MiBR, Inferno the pick of Eunited. Can they bring it back? Find out after the break.